Hello, I'm Rick Stivers. I want to welcome you to Young Martin's Reels. Today I was planning to do the last of my Johnson Century series, which is this 2000, the Johnson Century 2000, but I'm going to put that off. I might do it later this evening, but for now, I'm setting it off to the side because I went to the mailbox today and this package has arrived. This reel is one that I went on to eBay and found to do as a special request for Dennis Smith. He asked me if I could please do a video on how to service the Johnson Sprite, and not the Sprint, the Sprite. There is a Sprint also, but this is the Sprite. And he wanted the 200A. Well, there was no 200As available, so all I could do was get the 200. And I'm hoping, Dennis, that it's close enough to allow you to do what you need to do with your video or with your reel. So let's go ahead and get this open. Let's have a look at the Sprite. There it is, the Sprite 200. And I don't really know much about this reel. I never even knew it existed until Dennis asked about it, so I went looking for one. So we're going to take this thing apart and see if we can get it back together again. And see what we find. It's made in the U.S. This particular one's slightly chipped here on the front edge. I think it actually has a case crack right here on it. And let's see if it even functions. Okay, it winds. The button pushes. All right. Anti-reverse. Well, nope, she's locked out now. She was working. Okay. Let's see what we can find out. Might be just the line choked. Yeah, the line's snagged up inside it. Let's see. There we go. Yeah, the line was trapped. And let's see what it's doing. So let's take a look at this button right here. See if the pin goes in when we push the button. It does. The rotor comes up and locks. Let's see if I can get hold of this line. And let's see if it has a drag. Now, I can't afford to be going out and buying a reel every time somebody wants me to test out a reel for them or to teach them. But this was a fairly inexpensive reel, so I figured I'd give it a shot. Let's see if we can get this back on correct. There we go. All right. Hit the button. The line comes out like it's supposed to. Wind the handle. It comes in back in like it's supposed to. Let's see what we got for drag. Wow, drag's really tight. Let's see if we can loosen it up. Not yet. Okay, we're going to have to do some work on the drag because the drag is frozen on this. So let's see what we can do to get started on this. Let's start off by removing the cover. And it's made out of metal. Looks like it's aluminum. And that one's in good shape. Okay, now we're going to take this rotor off by unscrewing it. Uh-oh, the gears are slipping. It doesn't want to come off, so we're going to stop at that point. We don't want to tear the gears up. Let's go ahead and take the handle off, break it loose. All right, got that off. Now we're going to remove the handle. The next thing we're going to do is remove this screw. Now I'm not sure what that screw is doing for us. It looks to be just holding the button, but that might be what we need to get inside this. So let's take a look. Let's take the screw out. Pull the screw. We should hopefully at that point be able to remove the button. Not so far. Okay. Now this is going to be a challenge if I can't get the button off. Okay. Stand by a second. Let's see, this whole side case here comes, there we go. So, side case comes off, then the button comes out. All right, there we go. Oh, it's got a nice set of spiral gears in it. All right, now what I have found in the past is on these small lightweight reels, I've been told that if you put a rag inside the gearing, it'll jam it up enough to hold it tight and it'll pop it loose. Well, I have managed to damage 2 reels that way. So I'm not going to do that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to grab hold of the axle shaft on the flat here, try to hold that while I unscrew it. And that didn't work. So let me try something with a little more oomph. Okay. Let's see if I can get hold of it with these channel locks. I got it on the flat. Here's the flat right there. Okay, there we go. And the rotor's now broke free. And look, it had line trapped up under it. Okay, Dennis, how we doing so far, buddy? You hanging with me? Hopefully this is a lot like what you've got with the 200A. And we take the pin out. We're going to remove, hopefully, the rotor. And that doesn't want to yet. So let's see what we got to do to release that. Let's go the other way with the see if I see anything in here retaining it. Not that I see so far. What it does look like, though, is that this clip right here might come out as a horseshoe clip, but it doesn't, so that's not it. Okay. All right, now what I did manage to do when I grabbed hold of that with the vice grips is I managed to crush the little plastic sleeve on the end of this, and that caused it to break. And we will replace that. I'll show you how I'm going to do that. I was going to do it on a reel the other day, and I didn't get to it. So let's go ahead and take the spring off so we don't lose it. Let's take out the axle shaft as best we can. And let's shove the axle shaft forward. Okay, we've got a plastic washer in there. And this is going to be a bit of a challenge, it looks like, getting this apart. Yeah, there's the plastic sleeve that I broke. Right there. Okay, and we're going to replace that. We'll set it over to the side. There's our pinion gear. And the plastic washer stayed up inside. We can slide this axle shaft out the front. And we still have not managed to get this apart yet. So, all right, that's our drag. There we go. Got that to come off. Let's take a look inside here. What do we got? Why is this drag so blasted tight? Okay, the drag washer. All right, so this is not a grip type like is in the Centuries and the some of the other ones. This is going to be a pressure with a drag. I like this drag. I like this drag a lot. Okay, there's our top drag washer. That one's going to fit against the spool right there. Then we have this one in the middle, and does it come out? It should, but it may not without unscrewing this out of here. It doesn't look like it will without unscrewing it. So let's see if that will unscrew either way. Nope, not yet. Let's get a hold of it. Okay, so far no go. Let's go ahead and push the axle shaft, the main gear out, if it will come out. All right, here's the main gear, along with its, there's the anti-reverse on it. It's built right onto the gear. Can't be. Yeah, it's just sitting there. Oh, man. That's why it wants to jam up. The pin is broken off for the anti-reverse. Supposed to go right there. And I will have to see if I can find a way to fix that. And I think I can. I think I can drill that put a screw in that place and cut the head off of it, and I think it will serve the same purpose. So that'll take care of that. Now let's see what we can do with this piece in here. Dennis, don't get depressed over that. Hopefully yours isn't like that inside. Okay, let's see. Yeah, this is almost definitely going to have to unscrew out of there. I've got this washer that comes out. It goes with that axle shaft. And it appears that we're down to this part, which is going to have to unscrew if we want to get that out of there. I don't see anything else holding it. Okay, well that comes out. That's the drag wheel. And we can lube that and put it in place. With that out, this piece will come out now. There we go, we got that out. All right. It only leaves, this doesn't really have to come out, but I'm going to try really hard to take it out just because I want it out. And you know what? I might have got just the thing for doing this week. Hang on. All right, I went to an estate sale yesterday, and I found two of the smallest strap wrenches that I've ever encountered. And at $3 a pop, I thought, well, what the heck, I'll buy them. So we're going to see if they're small enough to grab hold of this shaft and pull it out of here and unscrew it out of here. Okay, we're going to put it on this way because we're going to try to go counterclockwise first. Okay, let's tighten this down as far as I can get it to go. Okay, and now let's see if I can get a hold of it. It does not want to grip. It just wants to turn. All right, so I'm going to cheat the system a little bit. I'm going to wrap a little tape around this just to try to give it some grip so it's not sliding off. All right, let's try that. Let's cinch it up tight again. And it just broke loose in the clockwise direction. Okay. Not in the counterclockwise, but clockwise direction. There we go. Okay. There we go. Got that off. Okay, so this is effectively a keyed washer. And one more. There we go. Okay, and that has basically dismantled this. I think there's still, yep, a washer in there that can be removed. Everything else is apart, folks. So we're going to take this, clean it up, and I'm not going to bore you with the details of how I'm going to try to repin this right here, right there. Let's take you in for a second. Okay, there is a post that's supposed to be here, a plastic post that this anti-reverse gear is supposed to sit, or claw is supposed to ride on, and it's snapped off. You can see that it's right there. And I'm going to see what I can do about fixing that. And I'm not sure what to do yet. I might even try, no, that's going to be too thick. I thought about maybe trying to put a pop rivet in there. But yeah, that's definitely broken off inside. So I will have, there we go, come out. That's the post right there. And it goes through there. So I need to find a screw. It's just about right for that. And we're going to put it in right here and see if we can make that work. Okay. In the meantime, I got to scrub all this up, clean it, and I will come back and hopefully get it all back together again. All right, the parts have been cleaned, and now I still need to get a post into here for this to ride on. And I've been thinking about that, and I'm thinking what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this right here, and it's a screw that goes on the outside of a bait caster reel, and it seems to be, I got this one over here, I'll probably use it instead, because yeah, they seem to be about the right size for going in there. This one is flared out slightly on the end, so I'm a little leery about trying it without cutting it off first. Tell you what, I'm going to go ahead and cut it off first. That way, if it doesn't fit, I'm not out anything. So I'm going to grab hold of it with a pair of vice grips, and I'm going to cut this shaft off, and then hopefully once that's cut off, that shaft will fit on this. Okay, and then we're going to take and heat it up and stick it in there, and I'm hoping it's going to melt itself into that case. I'm hoping. I don't know that. I'm hoping. So we're going to start off by putting on a full face shield. Try to keep junk out of my eyes. And I'm going to take my Dremel cool with a cutoff, and we're going to speed that thing up. All right. I'm going to put a screw in there for a minute just to run my file around the outside of this. Just try to clean it up just a little. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and use the cutoff wheel for this. Be faster. Just to deburr it. And let's see if I made a good choice. Looks like I didn't. That one's too big. It's not going to fit. And you don't want a really tight fit because this has got to be able to move. Okay. So, that being the case, that one's not going to work. So, fortunately, I had two of these. I have a smaller one, and it does fit. So, let's go ahead. Yeah, see, that one fits. It's a little bit loose, but I think it's going to do okay. I don't want to go all the way through the case on this, but the case isn't all that thick to begin with. I'm afraid I'm going to end up coming out the other side. And I'm tempted to go ahead and drill it all the way out and put a screw in on this side. And it would not be as cosmetically sound, but mechanically it would be much more sound to have a screw that goes through over here. So I got to debate that in my head for a minute. Won't look as good cosmetically, but mechanically it's much more sound. All right, got my little mini torch here. We're gonna heat this thing up. All right, let's see if that will melt its way into where it needs to be. It's working. All right, I cooled it down. It's in there. It's in there really solid. Now I just got to cut it off and clean the extra plastic off around the base, and I think we've got a good solid fix. All right, now I've got to try to clean this excess plastic out from around the edges of it. Okay, let's see what I can. Okay, I think in order to clean the rest of this melt out of here, I'm going to use a hot screwdriver. A really chintzy one. Here's a screwdriver I picked up at a yard sale. I ought to be able to heat that up hot enough. And I did clean the tip of it up a bit, but we're going to use it, I think, to heat this up and see if we can melt that plastic down. There we go. See how our part fits. Okay, it's still got stuff back behind it, keeping it from fitting all the way down. That's okay, we'll deal with that. Okay, let's see if we can finish cleaning this up. All right. Here we go. And the only issue may be that it might stand a little bit too tall. And the only way we're going to know for sure on that is to drop in the gear and see if it rubs. Where is my hand? There it is. And yes, it's rubbing. Was rubbing. I don't think it is now. Let's push it back out. Take a look. Where's that laying in there? Yeah, I think it's a little bit too proud. I'm going to shave it down just a little bit. And I might end up regretting this, but I don't think so. I think it'll be fine. Okay, let me go wash this out and we'll be ready to start assembly. Now that's been a lot of fun trying to get all that repaired. We have managed to fix the post in here. We're going to give you a nice close look up at that. The post is installed. I've put a nice metal post in there. It doesn't go all the way through. So even if this does break out one day, you could probably still go back and drill it out and put a screw in there. So it's not been done to the point where it couldn't be, something else couldn't be done with it later. So that's taken care of. Let's go ahead now. We're going to start the reassembly process. We're going to take this keyed washer. It's got the hexagon shape. There we go. Then we're going to come back and add a shim washer on top of that. Then we're going to come back and put another hexagon. Now, I don't understand the purpose of that, why there's two, because those two are never, that Teflon washer in between there is never going to turn in between those. It's physically impossible because these are locked in place by the hex. So the only thing it's serving is as a spacer. Okay, so on this outside here, we're going to add one more, and then we'll go back and add this bearing back in. And I don't know if you guys noticed it, but when I was cleaning this, I did see right here where it says to remove the bearing, turn it this direction. So turn it clockwise to remove it, reinstall it counterclockwise. We've got a drag, tighten it down. It's much tighter now. Wind it in, hit the button. All right. There you have the Johnson Sprite 200. Dennis, I don't know if this thing is even remotely like the 200A. But if it is, I can understand how that reel frustrated you. This one certainly frustrated me. It required a whole lot more time to service than one. Of course, I did have to repair as well, but still, that was not the quickest service in the world. All right. If you liked the video, please hit the like button. If you didn't like it, hit the dislike button. Tell me what you didn't like about it. And for now, that's Rick Stivers with Young Martin's Reels, signing out.